Hello all, and welcome to the weekly email. I'm Lissa at somaticanatomy.com, which you probably know by now if you're reading the weekly email, checking in, etc. So I would like to talk to you guys about, right now, about some of this class that I've been taking online. So Carnegie Mellon, their online learning initiative, they've got a totally free anatomy and physiology class. All the knowledge, one place, totally free. Go check it out. It's super cool. So this week, it's been just kind of an introduction to the systems. And I was really focusing on the lymphatic system. It's one of my favorite systems. In body-mind centering, they're talking about how lymphatic system is about boundaries. It defines what is you and what isn't you. You know, what things are coming from you, what things aren't. Because if you don't know, if your immune system, and the lymphatic system is very much part of the immune system, if your immune system doesn't know what is you and what isn't you, one, you're going to get sick. Two, you can have autoimmune disorders, which is even more sick and even less fun. So it's really important that your immune system knows the difference between what is you and what isn't you, what stays and what goes. How many of us in our lives need to know what stays and what goes? Well, let's deal with it on the body end by talking with our lymphatic system, by connecting with it, by understanding it. And one of my favorite things about it is the lymphatic system is basically, it's a fluid transport system. So you have all this intercellular fluid that's going around. It kind of leaks out of the capillaries. It carries things into the cells, and then there's this fluid hanging out. And then the fluid goes right back into the lymphatic vessels. So once that fluid enters the lymphatic vessels, poof, it becomes lymph. There is no chemical difference between it and interstitial fluid or intracellular fluid. It's just lymph is fluid, what is in the lymph vessel, which then becomes lymph, which is kind of awesome. So the whole point of the lymph nodes, that's what filters and cleans the lymph. And what happens is that the lymph comes in through the vessels and it goes and hangs out in the lymph nodes. The other things that are hanging out in the lymph nodes is our friends, the lymphocytes, all those immune cells. So they are going to go and they're going to make sure that all that lymph, all that fluid that we're drawing in from our extremities, we have tons of lymph vessels here in our hands and especially feet. So it's good to keep your hands and feet, my friends, that we keep in shoes all day. It's good to keep our hands and feet alive and moving and squeezing because our lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. And believe me, I could sit here talking all day with the lymphatic system. It's totally one of my favorite systems. So I'm just going to take a breath here because I'm not going to stay here all day because, you know, we're all busy people. And we're just looking for a few little gems right now, some awesome things. So the lymph, it comes in from the cells, it comes into the lymphatic vessels, poof, it becomes lymph. It comes in, it goes and hangs out in the lymph nodes. It hangs out in the lymph nodes for a while. It's a great place to store the stuff. It's also a great place for all those lymphocytes to go through and make sure that lymph is clean before it goes into our major ducts, goes down our thoracic duct, which is right in front of our spine. There's an even bigger collection of nodes called the cisterna chyli. It's kind of right, it's more or less right behind your belly button, maybe a little bit lower. And again, hangs out, gets cleaned. Eventually it ends up back in your bloodstream where the kidneys do extra cleaning. So extra cleaning, getting all of those pathogens out of your body. Parts of the lymphatic system. Yes, the tonsils are basically giant lymph nodes. Our friends, the tonsils right here. There's also the adenoids. I keep forgetting about the adenoids. They're up here in your head. And they're, again, giant lymph nodes. And these guys are basically, their job is to trap the pathogens that come in from the mouth and the nose. And the tonsils can also help monitor our external environment because of what's coming in through our mouth and nose, which is kind of awesome. So right here is kind of our first line of defense. Aren't we glad it's not standard practice to remove the buggers anymore? And what a bummer for those of us who had them just automatically removed because, you know, that's what we do. Nobody really needs them. Kind of like the thymus. And the thymus is right here. My friend Jacqueline Tobal said, the thymus is where you tap your chest to say, I, me. And the thymus contains lymphocytes that are both immature and inactive. They become mature and active in here. which is where they learn what is you and what isn't you. Right here, this is where you learn what is you and isn't you, right above your heart. It's not a metaphor. It's for real. Thymus gland. Something else that people remove because, well, you know, it's huge in little kids, but as you get older, it gets kind of shrunken and flabby and annoying looking, so you can't possibly be using it. Let's get rid of it. Don't get rid of it. It's important. Your spleen, of course, your largest lymphatic organ, that houses more lymphocytes that can be released if you need them for an immune response. It also has some phagocytes that help removing all that cell debris from your blood. So again, more blood cleaning. People get their spleens removed too. What is it with the lymphatic system? Why is it that people like to remove tonsils? People like to remove thymus glands. People can remove spleens. I mean, that's not a vital organ. No, but it really makes your immune system's job a lot more difficult. A lot more difficult. Just saying. And finally, our friend, the red bone marrow. Red bone marrow, yes. Red bone marrow stem cells generate our blood cells. And the stem cells then differentiate into our red blood cells, our platelets, and our immune cells, both the lymphocytes and the neutrophils and the macrophages, which are kind of non-specific. They just sort of float around. Lymphocytes are the ones that are specific immunity. When you get an immunization shot and they put, you know, dead or weak disease cells into your body, that's your lymphocytes can be like, whoa, hold on, this is not good. We must learn, and they pass on their knowledge. The lymphatic system is also about passing on knowledge. Just saying. Maybe this is why I like it so much. So, again, with the lymphatic system, adenoids, tonsils, thymus, spleen, red bone marrow, lymphatic vessels. It's about fluid transport. It's about knowing what is you and what isn't you. And it's about passing on knowledge. I'm going to leave you with that. And okay, granted, a lot of that stuff is stuff that I've learned from somatics and body-mind centering. It's not stuff that I've learned from this online course. However, it's stuff that you're learning because you're here and because you like this stuff. So enjoy your anatomy. I will see you online. I will possibly even see you in real life because I'm going to be doing some workshops in the New York City area. If you own a studio, if you work at a studio, if you regularly go to a studio that you think might be interested, reply to the email and we'll book something up because we have delicious, delicious workshops coming up. Keep an eye out. It'll be fun. And as always, enjoy your anatomy.